Thompson Productions.
You do want to smear everybody else.
No,
Anyway,
I want Israel to. No, you shut up.
Okay.
You shut up, my little man.
All right.
little
Okay.
bit. Okay, Alex.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you. You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is.
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Welcome, Tyler Yonke here for LPR. It's not Friday. It's just this camera. I'm gonna get you up to speed on what's been going on with my life. It's a little interesting. We've got JC in the chat. Eddie Grimm is here. Scott is over there on Rumble. Welcome everybody. Sancho? Who's Sancho? I don't know. Everybody's here. I'm glad we're moving things along. Look at this. Okay, I've got the chat working now for Rumble. There it is for YouTube. No one's coming in here for Twitter, but we're up on Twitter too, folks. LPR, Libertarian, Tyler Yonke, I think is what it is for Substack. Go there. I've got some announcements to make. Let's cut this music off. Welcome everybody. Tyler Yonke, 255. What is going on here? Coming up, I'm going to be on Nephilim. What are we drinking tonight? This is actually what's the important part. Banned Photoshop. So I've got this Downtown Brown. This is a Lost Coast. It's from Eureka, California. It's okay. My sister-in-law just gave it to me. We'll see how that one works. And then a Firestone IPA. This is down by San Luis Obispo. My wife just went down there. She's down there through the week. I'm going to be going down there probably Tuesday, if not Monday. Northside said, did something happen on the tour, de France? Yes, the Tour de France. It went along just swimmingly. A guy named Tadej Pogacar won it for the 4th time. He's probably the greatest cyclist ever at 26 years old. It's hard to say that that's the case, but that is the case. Yeah, everyone came out as gay. Wait, they were in the class. You guys, I have my Between Two Wheels podcast. It's fantastic. It does the tour. We're going to do the Tour of Spain coming up. It's the same idea, 3 weeks, but it's around Spain. I almost like it more. It's a little bit different. I could get into, there's some, okay, so this guy, Tadej Pogacar, he's from Slovenia. He wins everything. And when he goes, he wins multiple times during the tour. Okay, each day is a different stage. And he racks it up and he doesn't give a shit. And he just puts it out there and he wins and people then hate him. The French crowds are yelling at him, booing, throwing piss at him because he's a winner. And so he backed it off at the end. He already had this whole thing won. He kind of backed it off at the end. And I'm like, I don't like that. Those French people don't deserve you if you just are going out there and slaughtering it. You deserve it. Someone else be better. That's what I'm Downtown Brown. That's what my grandfather called the urban people in Chicago. Was it Dale Brown? Played for the Seattle Supersonics at the time. Downtown Brown is what they call him. I'm on Silver Bullet number 9. Well, of course the French would bring bagged piss to throw at people. Yeah, they did that before to this guy named Chris Froome, a British guy who won the Tour a bunch. They have fake big needles and stuff. They mock them like that. I don't know why you'd go to a race if you're going to do this. Okay, let's talk about real athletes. Let's talk about real athletes right here. Actually, it might be doing this one better. Black swimmers teach others amid history of aquatic segregation. Quote, no one in America should have any barrier to connecting to water. And the irony is these fat bitches, they're going to float. There's not going to be any problem. Should we even read this? I'm going to read the first few things. At 42, Tamika Bostic decided she wanted to learn how to swim. At 42. This is parental alienation here. Bostic said she tried to sign her teenager up for lessons too, but her daughter said she wanted her mother to learn to swim first. Okay, well, good. I'm not going to read anymore because if it's going to be a feel-good story, I'm not really that interested in that. But that's an interesting thing. Okay, I'm going on Nephilim Death Squad on 8/22. I don't know if it's live on that. I can't ever figure them out. They're showing stuff live today, and so I'm making comments. No, I think it's a premiere. I can't. That's my problem with. I know Dan. Those two guys pump the shit out and they're doing great. But I have a problem with, is it live or not? And I love the live shows for commenting. You guys in the chat as of right now. Matter of fact, why don't we do that? Dave said, I haven't watched the Tour de France in years. Once Cancellara retired, I wasn't interested anymore. Interesting. Cancellara, coffee, remember Covfefe for Trump? That's something similar with this guy, Fabian Cancellara was from Switzerland, and he would confits in coffee. He couldn't get it right. What else? In all fairness, it's probably pretty funny to throw piss on someone else. That could be rough. So anyway, welcome everybody in there. So Nephilim Death Squad, I'm going on there in a few weeks. We're going to talk about Leo Frank. They invited me. And I've been digging deeper back into this. I got a whole nother book, The Nation of Islam, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. This is volume 2. Volume 3 was all about Leo Frank. Volume 2 is basically, it goes up until the Civil War and Reconstruction, a little bit past that. But it's basically, because the first volume is about blacks being sold into slavery by the Jews. And now this one is the Jews owning them in America. And it's fascinating. So I'm going to incorporate some of that because I think that's an important part. And if you ever have heard the Leo Frank stuff and the ADL, what they try to pin and the reasons why they try to, this seedy side of, the KKK, the second wave was started from the Leo Frank. First of all, that's false. But why are they doing that? When there has been this lovely connected relationship between the Jews and the KKK from their inception through the second wave up to the 1940s. Anyway, I have this book. I've written a bunch of other stuff. We're going to go a little bit deeper dive into that, I assume, with those guys. So that's what I'm going to do on that part. Let me give you an update on, I just had this trial. I'm not done. 2 days, it's a 4-day trial, which is a little odd for family law. We usually get things taken care of. It's not, a lot, usually 1 or 2 day trials. This one got set for 4 days. And it is a shit show, quite frankly. The other party doesn't have an attorney. She's had 3 attorneys, and then we've set this thing for trial. We had a threshold issue about date of separation. This is to cover everything. Date of separation issue, which we had already agreed upon, but we didn't memorialize it in a stipulated order. So we had to do a trial over that to begin with, and we won. But during that, because then we have to do spousal support, and then we're doing property. And it's very simple, but this opposing party thinks that my client, the husband, he's mid-60s, both of them, thinks that he has acquired some massive enterprise property, and she wants $1 million lump sum in the house that they live in, or she lives in. The problem is that's a rental. It's not his house, and he doesn't have $1 million. He owes me a decent chunk right now. He's actually a general contractor that's going to be doing work on our house to try to pay this shit off. He doesn't have that. So anyway, she's down this. You think the conspiracy theories that we delve in all the time can be out there sometimes. This is far more fantastic than those. We're in court on yesterday. The judge stops it and goes, I have concerns that you, the lady, is not competent to stand to continue trial. And so she put on the record a bunch of questions, made her basically a bunch of CYA stuff. And then we continued, and then the day ended. We were going to go till 4:30, and it was about 3:45. My client's testifying. And all of a sudden she just stands up and goes, I'm going to be sick from this, and yells and runs out of the courtroom. Just boom, she's gone. So we recessed for the, hi Nancy. Scott's here. Can't wait for it all to all be on the NDS Patreon chat. Yeah, good to hear that. I really liked all the characters in the doping era. I am probably just getting old. No, I will talk about the doping era in every sport was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you ever guys see, I've played it before. It's a Saturday Night Live thing, and it's they call it the All Drug Olympics. And what's his name? He got killed. He is Phil Hartman. He's doing like the clean and jerk, weightlifting, and he pulls his arms, literally just pulls them out. There's just tendons and stuff, and they're like, oh. He's on horse tranquilizer and all this stuff, but that's all encouraged here at the All Drug Olympics. He's not going to feel that till tomorrow. So anyway, those gotta love the pro per. Yeah. Matter of fact, inquiring yesterday as to her work over the last few years, because we're doing spousal support, and she said the last year she's just been working for pro per, and I'm like, well, what does that pay? You didn't put that down on your your work history. She's like, well, no, I'm working for myself. So the last year. Now, what's odd is the judge had to remind her multiple times this trial had been set. We set it in November of 2023, and then in January of 2024, we had set it for this time. So it's just been set for way too long. And anyway, it's a sad situation, actually. Yes, doping. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? Because you know what? I almost forgot. It wasn't even on my list, and now I need to go there. There were a few questions that people had last time from my little thing about Nick Fuentes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about him. And I try to stay. It's the drama that bothers me. So, and I will get. Let me just get here. See if I can find this here, because. Feminine argument. Come on, where's all that's language? Come on, community. There we go. See if we can. I don't really like the way the YouTube Studios does this, but let's take a look here at the browser. Okay, so this guy said it was not loud enough. I kept rewinding to hear it. So you guys have to tell me in the chat if you can hear everything, like the clips I play, me. You got to let me know. Drunk Tyler is the best. Laney, all I've had to drink today, here's a beer. It's right here. That's where the level is right now. I mean, I think I've had 1 or 2 sips. I'm not at all inebriated. But are you talking about when I'm in court? Cartier Brothers just roasted Nick Fuentes. I don't know who the Cartier Brothers are, but let me talk about this a little bit more. So the guy said it was loud. Okay, now this person here. Let's read this one. BLive123 said, I don't understand why people say he, being Nick, should have been rude to her on the show. If he was then, he would make himself look emotional and stupid, which would make people side with Candace. But by staying composed, he made her look like a lunatic. And then on top of that, he went on his show, and after 1 hour of a grounded, polite breakdown, he went off on her and started calling her names and stuff. Okay, and stuff. And that is the perfect time to go off on your show. Why would you lose your cool in an interview and make yourself look like a fool? So I want to answer this part first. One, I never said he should go off and be uncomposed and unemotional. That is what a woman does. I actually think he was emotional and he wasn't composed, but he doesn't know how to talk to a woman, okay? And so, no, but by the way, I didn't say Dave was uncontrollable because I did a comparison of how Dave shot this lady down in front of her, in her face, okay? This is the feminine behavior, which is you acting, we've all seen it, the two-faced bitches in high school, college, out there, the cougars or whatnot. It's nice to your face and then talking bad about behind your back. What a man does, he says things up front. That was my problem with Nick. He's on the show with her and things seem to be fine. I thought it was somewhat cordial until he had all his reaction. And I'm sorry, I know you guys, there's Nick stands and whatever. I'm sorry. Who she just had on? She had a former gay guy, Milo Yiannopoulos, and it was very cordial. Now, some of that's on Candace. But you know what else it was on? It was on Milo to be more manly than Nick. And that's all I said at the time was, Nick, but you look at all his responses, all this stuff. We're going to get to some of that. It's all drama. Drama is what he deals with. So this, look at his rebuttal. It's drama. People were complaining because she was talking about this and that and, trying to gotcha. It's like, yeah, then you know what you do? You just go, okay, whatever. I'm here now. What do you want to talk about now? I don't need to keep. No, he was like, oh, but then you said this and then you meant, and so he was very feminine on this. And so I don't believe what I think this person, one, is making arguments against someone who's not me. Okay. If he did that, then no one from Candace's fan base will look into his stuff. But now he has had multiple Candace viewers coming to watch his show ever since the interview aired, exactly because he stayed composed and didn't obviously set up. I disagree with that. And here's also the other problem. Fine. Then you got attention. And what you also got was me realizing you're not really an honest broker. I want to do a collab. That's what he kept saying. Remember the homosexual way to say collaboration. I want to do a collab with you, Candace. I want to do a collab. I'm a victim. No one's been banned more than me. And then he gets a chance to do a collab and it goes okay. And then he goes and whines and bitches about it afterwards. So your point was not, and I think she made the point, and I'm not a Kansas stan, but she made the point was he's where he wants to be. And I think he did what he wanted. He wanted to go on there. He wanted a crap show. And then it wasn't like my court situation. And then he wanted to go and bitch and complain to his base and they all snuggle and jerk him off. So there you go. Stayed composed despite being obviously a setup. He begged to be on that show over and over. And then he complained to Candace that he hadn't been on that show. So what do you mean setup? If it's a setup and Nick Fuentes got caught in a setup and he looked bad, that's on Nick Fuentes. That's on no one else but Nick Fuentes. I think even you understand all this, but your bias is getting in the way. Nick delivered a masterclass. I got a clip for this.
That is a career-ending slur. It is a career...
Bitch. Nick did deliver a masterclass in the interview, and then in his breakdown of the interview of his show, and as a result, got some of her audience, sent her into a Twitter crash out and making a contrast between the real JQs and shills even more. This is so pathetic. The real JQs. So now this is the problem I've had. This is his problem was with Dave too, which was you're not a real Jew hater because you're a Jew. You can't be. And I'm like, motherfucker, your dad's a Jew. Okay, why don't you just... I'm sick of this Jew cred. Just either you have positions on this or not. Gays are passive aggressive. Yes, they are. Oh my God, hi Lainey. Didn't Ryan Dawson get banned more? I mean, I've taken that as a joke because I'm sorry. I played the clips for you. All he kept talking about was how he got banned, and by the way, you know who else got banned? Maybe even worse or just as bad as him? Milo Yiannopoulos. You know how many times Milo Yiannopoulos mentioned it on the show with Candace? 0. And I'm not standing for him. I'm comparing Nick with a gay guy, a former gay guy, as he calls himself. And I'm seeing one was more homosexual than the other. That's just plain and simple. The term is reformed homosexualist. Okay, Dave. That's pretty sweet. Solid work there. Okay. Here we go. You don't, let's put this up here. You seem to go too soft on the J's. I mean, whatever. Actually, let me delete this. I want to delete this. Let's edit this. Actually, if I was feminine, I can't even spell, like Nick, I'd read all that and care. Okay, that's what I'm putting in there. I mean, guess who fucking cares? That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Who's less gay? My Jew cred. Who's less gay, Milo or Fuentes? I don't know. That's a good question. Let me give you some just housekeeping shit here. Here we go. So Surviving the Times with Duke and CD. I started watching this. They started a new podcast. Go join them over there. It's Survive the Times podcast, and that was interesting. So I didn't get through all of it yesterday, but I love these two great people. Met them down there for the first time in person in Florida, Bro Grove. Absolutely adore them both, and so could be gay scene. There you go, as well. And then JC sent me this. Here we go. Let's go. This is a guy. I guess he's with Swampcast, whatever it is, and he's talking about why you should not join the Libertarian Party. I found it, JC. I found it a little cringy. And this dude seems to be fine. It was, I listened to 30 minutes of an hour's worth of it. At one point he talks about, and he's not wrong, he talks about how the losers the libertarians are, but then he talks about how he doesn't have money and he needs, and I'm like, okay, come on. I met a lot of like successful people and a bunch of useless people in the Libertarian Party, but I mean, I'm not going to do a crash out video about why I'm leaving. I think he was maybe more involved than me, but it's what it is. So maybe go watch that over there on Swampcast. He's got 128 views on that. So there you go. Okay. Alex Berenson does this debate with Dave Smith, and I played a little bit, as I was doing the show last week, I played a little bit of that. And so I think we're going to go dive into it just a little bit more. Milo seems to be, Nick has a weird relationship with Ali Alexander. Okay, never seems to get mentioned. It does get mentioned by Milo. Milo has brought that up multiple times. Greetings, JC. Cringe was the fun part. What up, Tyler? What's up, John? Ali is probably one of the best modern examples of an inbred jaw. I thought it was Sammy Davis Jr. When I first saw him, I'm like, this is Sammy Davis. And Sammy, I think, had converted to Judaism at one point. So I was like, this is gay Sammy, right? He was boyish. Anyway, Dave and Alex Berenson go to do a debate on Gaza. Now, I'm confused for one thing. This guy, Raz, did the debate. I just saw him I was trying to watch some of his interview with Dave. Dave did like a 3-hour interview, and it was interesting. It was basically breaking down Dave's stuff with Douglas Murray. And then Douglas has been on a bunch of different shows. And so he's playing clips. He was okay. It's for a host, but he's had, Bhattacharya, he's had Alex, he's had a bunch of people on his show. His show's not really, it's only like 3,000 subscribers. And, I guess that's twice as much as me, but that's not a lot at all. But he was not a good host for this. And that doesn't mean anything. I mean, his podcast, I enjoyed his interviews and stuff, but he was deficient for this. Didn't know Milo mentioned him. Yeah, go look at his, pretty sure it's him. Yeah, I'm sure Milo is the one that's mentioning Ali. Matter of fact, maybe we could do, let's see here. Maybe I will should I just do a quick in-class survey here? Milo, Ali, Nick. I don't know if we get any, well, this is interesting. So this person says, Nick Fuentes calling Kanye the realest human on earth for coming out as gay, homosexuals leading Gen Z in the fight against women is poetic. Ye hanging with Nick, gay Milo, and pedo Ali should be okay. I am publicly challenging Nick to a baby off. Okay, I don't know what that... It's undeniable that Nick acted on FBI orders on January 6th and was protected thereafter. I believe he gave audience data to the feds to lift a bank hold. He isn't regular informant material. Okay, interesting. Here's baked. Okay, all these just gross. It's out there though. He's said that, so we could. That's fine. We'll move on from there. Yeah, we talked about. I have some of that in. By the way, my wife is gone. So I'm here. I think we have a lot of time tonight. This may be a longer stream. I got 2 beers to go. So hang on. It's Saturday. What up, Tyler? Hey, Curtis. How you doing? Eddie says, did you see any of the Malice versus Angry Cops debate on Tim Gook? No, but... There's been, I tuned in just passing the other night. I happened to click on Tim, and it was just a bunch of white dudes they seemed gross to me. And it's not because they're white. I'm just being, and so I'm assuming maybe that's what it was. I'll have to check it out. I do love to see, I watched this video today, The Lawyer You Know. I don't know if you ever check out his stuff. He's pretty good. And he was breaking down this legal case in Ohio where the prosecutor and the defense for this lady they had an agreement. So their plea deal, and they're going to have it put on the record, but they didn't do quite everything right. And this judge is the one who does the sentencing, and he did not accept it, and he had his own. And this lady was a fourth grade elementary teacher with a master's degree that had been stalking and stole some of this guy's stuff. And then she was wailing in court afterwards. And I'm just like, put more fourth grade teachers in jail. I'm fine with that. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know what that had to do with anything. Anyway, Alex goes on to do this debate with Dave Smith. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And it starts off rough. And I think I played the opening for us last time, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to play it here as well. And we're just gonna go for a little bit, because like I said, I have plenty of time tonight, so we're gonna play extended stuff. Here's kind of what I had in mind. I'm gonna play some Dave Smith stuff. I've got some Alan Dershowitz news. We're gonna talk about that. Tainted pierogies, pierogi taint, as he called it. What else? A little Tucker and Candace, and then Nick. We're going to play their comments. We're going to play Nick's reactions, which I've seen all over the place. Oh, Nick roasted them, and I'm like, I haven't listened to it, and he needs to refute. I don't want this. Like I've been doing, just gay bashing on him. I don't want him to just like the CIA stuff. I know that that's a lot of stuff out there. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really defend against their comments about you. So it'll be interesting to see if you actually have a defense for that. And if you're not gay or not. Let's talk about that. And then there's other stuff and so I'm going to do, maybe it's a Nick Rich type of stuff. I mean, fulfilled, it's rich with Nick. Because then he plays other clips. I haven't listened to him, but I grabbed him because I saw with the title, some people, the quote about what he's saying. He's talking about e-girls, and I'm like, and then there's all these different e-girl fights right now. If you guys haven't blocked them, shame on you. And if you haven't blocked them and you're talking about them in a way that's not telling people to just block them, then you're part of the problem, and that's also about as gay as it gets, and that's Nick. Anyway, let's start this off. This debate was supposed to be about Gaza. Alex Berenson had been going apeshit. Matter of fact, let's do this. Actually, that's the one I want. Let's see. I don't want you guys to see everything, so let me put this in here. I think I had. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's go to Alex Berenson's Twitter page, and this is his tweet, his pinned tweet. Can you see that? Okay. This is before their debate, and then comic Dave Smith said, "If quote we were to face, we wouldn't be debating." Scary, Dave. Way scarier than if you weren't a 42-year-old comedian from Park Slope who went to priciest prep school in New York. True story. I'm not fighting you, cutie. Got to save those looks. Okay, so this is his thing, but he took away the pinned tweet because he had one, let's see if it's in here, about Dave, that Dave was a Holocaust denier. So everyone is clear. Dave has set the terms of our debate tonight as Holocaust denial, and if he has denied the Holocaust, so guests will be talking about Holocaust denial. So, this twerp went out there. Look, Alex Berenson was good on COVID, but, there were other people that were good on COVID too. This is part of the thing I had the problem with the guy complaining about the Libertarian Party thing. He's like, we take over the Mises Caucus, and then there's this, anti-war rally in Washington, D.C., and so people were all mad that there was this, pedophile involved. And I'm like, whoa. Yes, there were the weapons inspector, Scott Ritter. There was some problems there, and I know he had good reasons. This was, I did multiple shows, and I've talked about it on my show and other people's channels. Why do you get used as a libertarian? It's like, fine, we'll be libertarians, and then we're going to let these communists come in, and then we're going to let these pedophiles come in, convicted, and then we're going to be, we're going to wrap ourselves around them, and you know what happens? That stench doesn't go from you to them, it goes from them to you. So why are you being used? Use these people instead of them using you. And this guy was upset about it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe you were, I don't know. It just gave me a weird feeling. Like, I'm not saying he's defending pedophiles. I'm just saying, can you not understand that someone doesn't want to be associated with Jackson Hinkle and get that taint on you? And then the taint of Scott Ritter as well? I mean, come on, people. It's not difficult to see. Physiognomy check on this has Dave coming out on top already. I don't think Nick is a Fed, but he did blow the thing that calls itself Destiny, and he would be relentlessly mocked for that. But let's talk about that. I mentioned that last week as well, which is he's the most... he's a lightning rod, okay? He's a lightning rod. He's been very prominent, before January 6th. He's getting banned everywhere. Tario, the whatever boys, was that a bigger, clip, feather in the cap than Nick Fuentes would have been on January 6th? I mean, come on. Nick Fuentes would have been a huge get, and they somehow didn't. And he was more vocal than that loser that was out there yelling to go storm the Capitol. He was saying the same stuff. It was on film. It blows my mind. Some grandma walks in there, and they get prosecuted. But Nick Fuentes doesn't? I mean, it doesn't smack past the smell test at all. Minder, no, this is not live. Hi, John. What did Berenson say about COVID? Let me get to that in a second. Scott Ritter, framed and prosecuted online chat room inspector. I don't believe it. I'm not following there. Are you thinking of Ritter, the John Ritter? Jack Ritter? John Ritter? John Ritter. You think of John Ritter from Breeze Company? I don't know. It could have been framed. Could have been. I think the second part was framing of when he started to leak stuff, but he's kind of creepy. I don't think it was framing because I thought he had admitted to some stuff. So let's hold that in Proud Boys. Thank you. Alex Berenson had been a writer at the New York Times. During COVID, he pushed back against a lot of this stuff to the point that the Biden administration went after him, and he did a lawsuit with the state of Missouri against Biden, and I think his was either with them or joint with it. But he won something. He won some judgments out of there. I think made a deal. So he was basically targeted for his thoughts. So it's interesting though, but he's a lefty in general. Okay, so he had one good, and this is the problem. Joining, I didn't leave the left left me. Okay, but you still have a lot of lefty ideas. Those kind of people, Dave Rubins and whatnot. They come over and then they subvert. This is what I'm talking about. I'm tired of getting used by these people. And Alex is kind of that one. He had that one good thing for whatever reason. But he didn't have any of the grounding that goes along with it. COVID. Okay, yeah. So look, he was at the time. If you just weren't, asking for everyone to be jailed like Jimmy Kimmel, you were good. Okay, so that's what we're saying. I was exceptional. That's okay. Let's get to it. Enough him and Han. Let's play some of this.
Some of those tweets, if I'm right. Is that what you want to do, or
no? It's not the tweets, but we can walk through it, or Dave might want to walk through it.
Guys, let me know.
But yes, I said on Sunday night that Dave thought that Auschwitz was a spa in Unit 731, which was a Japanese killing medical military unit in World War II, was a hot sushi place. And then I said, I'm funning you, Dave. I know you don't know what Unit 731 was. We agreed that Dave would lead off, so I can explain after he speaks why I thought that was why I said that, but that is what I said, and that's, I think, why this started.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna hash this out. I guess Dave, you're gonna start.
I don't have much to say. I mean, I don't really have much to say as a start. I'd say that yes, Alex tweeted that I thought Auschwitz was a spa, accusing me of being a Holocaust denier. He then pinned it to his Twitter and left it there for 48 hours. Then I haven't kept up with all of the spiraling on Twitter, but then he said that Dave's never faced a real reporter before who's going to be asking him all these tough questions, who's researched him. So, Mr. Real Reporter, you called me a Holocaust denier, pinned it to your Twitter. Back that up, sir.
Okay.
There's my opening.
All right, that sounds fine. I'm going to play a tweet. I'm going to play it's a 34-second clip from YouTube.
Okay.
It's called Not Seeing a Jew Walk into a Bar. It's you and Richard Spencer.
Oh, okay. How pathetic already.
Say when.
That is, again, the problem of libertarians that, I think we might joke that they're autistic. And what we mean, it's a harsh joke, but
several of them actually are.
Right, that's true. Well, the alt-right, if they cured autism, the alt-right would just disappear overnight. It would be it would be our Holocaust. Anyway.
Except this one really happened.
Right. But,
do you need to hear that again, Dave? Because
where
that's
was
you
I?
denying the Holocaust.
Okay, so first of all, it's obviously a joke. That is Richard Spencer. He is lefty, of course. And I would also say this: that is really old. So if you've been subscribed to Dave's show, you get all the archives. That's really the first ones were like in an apartment. But that one where they're on the side like that, that's really old. I want to say that's like 2015, maybe 15, 16, right in that era, like really, really early on, because then it changed to a different format in there. But you've also got to understand that's not live on the internet. Alex had to likely subscribe to Dave's part of the problem and go through his archives to get that. Now, someone may have clipped it and it's been out there. I could be. Then he would, still. So I want to believe in my heart that he had to do that because he had to subscribe to Dave's show. Anyway.
Oh, dude, come on. Wait, have you lost this debate this badly? That 1 second.
Let's play it again.
You found an old joke, dude? Are you this pathetic?
Can you play it again? Did you not play it again for me? Let's just listen to it.
No.
I would like.
Yeah. No, we played it, Alex.
Let's hear it.
Okay, one at a time. Okay, Alex, you go first. Alex, talk.
Oh,
and then
Jesus
Dave.
Christ.
Okay, Alex, go. And then Dave.
Okay. Let me know when we can play it again.
Right. Do you
we'll
really
play it until David Nixon says what it says.
Okay,
Can you
Alex.
play it again?
Nice, Alex, dude. You are spiraling, dude. Is this really how you're opening the debate? That I made a joke 10 years ago? That's what you got to back up calling me a Holocaust denier?
I'm sorry. You need to let me know how this works, Dave. Did anyone seriously believe that I thought you thought Auschwitz was a spa? So you can joke that the Holocaust didn't happen to a neo-Nazi, but you are freaking out that I said that you were a Holocaust denier because you back one of the best-known Holocaust deniers in the world, Daryl Cooper?
No, none of that's true, but I'm sorry.
Let's play the clip again.
Hold on.
As many times as we need to.
Alex, we all heard you say, let's play the clip again. It's quite pathetic. Let's move on. So that's
No, let's play it again, Dave.
Hold on.
Because right now, we are in the middle of the most vetted debate of all time.
Rob.
By the way, you guys, with all this stuff, you can look at this. Dave's like, you can find this search. It came from Archie's list. One, he's still amassing evidence. I believe that's the case. This is a guy who can't figure out a microphone for a podcast. He's not that brilliant about searching. Okay. I don't think he did. Maybe someone found it for him. That's likely the scenario that it happened. But here you go. This is when you have someone. This is where Dave is uniquely qualified. One, he is a comedian, and this is where comedians. And Dave, I was listening to this with Rob, I think that's his name, this guy, doing a podcast a few weeks ago. And, it's once again, it's the Douglas Murray, you're not qualified. Oh, and he's talking to Sam, what's his name? Sam Fuck. He's the, I don't know, mental guy. And what's his name? Come on, people, help me here. And they're like, oh, yes, experts, you need it. Like, what if you need a brain surgery? And you went in there and it's like, hey, I'm comedian Dave Smith. I'm going to do brain surgery. It's like, okay. First of all, those two guys are not doing brain surgery. Okay. One of them is an English major. Okay. So he's not qualified at all. And I'm sorry, but you're not going to equate brain surgery. And he's like, you wouldn't have someone, a pilot that just learned to fly on their own. I'm like, why wouldn't you? I'm sorry, my cousin grew up, he had a farm, they had a airstrip, there's a wheat farmers, they had an airstrip in front of their house with he flew the fucking plane since he was like 10, 11 years old because his dad was teaching him. But that's how you do things sometimes, right? Not everything. Like my son went to nursing school, and I'm like, do you have to go to school? Maybe you can do, do some test catheters at the truck stop. You can learn. No, you can't. You do have to go to school for some of these things. I get it. Do you think a history teacher has to go to? I mean, by the way, you can get your law degree without going to law school. You just have to study under someone and then take the test, and if you pass it, you pass it. Okay. You can study under a judge. Okay, that's one way to get through this thing. So every little thing requires a different kind of expertise. I had an expert and for the trial on the first day, on Thursday, comes in there and he does, I'm, and by the way, the point I'm getting at here, which is Dave's like, I'm not an expert, but I read a lot of people and they are not always the best at conveying their ideas in a debate or in talking, he goes, I'm good at conveying these ideas. Yes. Once again, I'm an attorney. I'm not an expert like this guy that came in and testified, but then I'm able to elicit the information out of him and then translate it to the judge, closing arguments or any kind of arguments I do. That's my job to do. You can, and what do you think when Douglas Murray is writing a book about whatever? Is he doing these studies himself, or does he question, or does he take those studies that someone else has done and then use them for data in his book? Of course he is. He's using someone else's expertise. He's not the expert either. He's amassing experts' knowledge to put it into a way that he wants to translate it and put it out. You can be a fucking comedian and do that. Matter of fact, like I said, put these fourth grade teachers in jail, let the comedians come out and teach, and English teachers like Douglas Murray put them away too. So here, though, you have Alex Berenson trying to go toe-to-toe with a good communicator and a comedian. And you tried to make some sort of weird autistic joke online and pin tweet it about like, see, I was making a joke, and it's like, dude, you are not, because you believe, like as an example, Daryl Cooper is a Holocaust denier, but you haven't done the. And by the way, this is my problem. You're like, oh, he was great on COVID. I don't know, honestly. People tell me he was great on COVID. I didn't do the research myself. I question that when this is the kind of analysis you're giving, and you say Daryl Cooper is a Holocaust denier, and you supposedly listen to his podcast. Enough of me blabbing. Let's keep going.
Let me know when it's time for me to talk, and let him keep embarrassing himself. Let me know when.
By the way, this is how Nick shouldn't have been with Candace Owens, but he could have been. This was a little girly here too. Dave got real pissy, but I get it. And by the way, I believe, and I tweeted out that he should be pissy, because when you get people like this calling you Holocaust deniers and anti-Semitic names that you and saying you're anti-Semitic, that used to work. That used to work a few years ago. It would shut you down. They'd debank you or whatever. And now he makes a joke with a loser 10 years ago. Obvious joke. Okay. By the way, this is a guy that is a Holocaust denier. So that is a fabulous joke. Oh, but this time it's real. Right? The Holocaust. But this time it's real. That is hilarious to make to a Holocaust denier. I just think that's timing. That's everything you would think. And it's like, that is great. You can't comprehend this, Alex, but it makes you also question his credibility of all his past stuff if this is the kind of work he's going to do.
When it's time for me to talk.
All right. Alex, you want to play the clip again?
I would like to play it again, sure.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Play
Let's just
play
keep
it
playing
again.
until David admits it says what it says, and then we can move forward.
Okay, fine. Play one more time.
How many times you want?
Sam Harris, thank you.
What, Rob? You want to keep playing this clip?
I could play it all night. I love listening.
No, I know you can, because you got nothing else, dude. But Rob, do you really want to do this? You want to keep playing this clip? Go ahead.
I don't see a big utility in it, but Alex is.
Sam Bankman-Fried. By the way, it was interesting to see. I'm sorry. This is gonna be. I'm not gonna get through this shit. I'm gonna talk and we're gonna debate this stuff here. Sam Harris and Douglas Murray coming together, not making any good arguments about Dave's stuff. It's just about his qualifications. And I'm sorry, the more you make his qualifications part of the problem and the scope, the more embarrassing it is, because he fucking killed you guys. Both of you, he's taken to the woodshed. So that's even more embarrassing. Sam Bankman-Fried is just a hilarious comment, JC, as always. Okay, let's fair point on this guy not knowing how to do search, by the way. Yeah. Okay.
He's insisting, so I'm just gonna accept this one request, and then
this is what Alex has in lieu of an argument. Okay, go ahead.
That is again the problem of libertarians, that I think we might joke that they're autistic, and what we mean, I mean, it's the harsh joke, but
several of them actually are.
Right, that's right. Well, the alt-right, I mean, if they cured autism, the alt-right would just disappear overnight. It would be it would be our Holocaust. Anyway.
Except this one really happened.
Right. But where was I?
Okay. All right. So Alex, so what's your point on this, Alex? Like, you think he's not joking, or you think he is joking, and then therefore he should...
I'll let him answer whether he's joking or not. Dave, are you joking about that?
Well,
no. Go ahead, Rob. Ask Alex's question. I'm not responding to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. like I'm curious, Alex.
This is already, by the way, Rob, I've done so many debates. This is the gayest one I've ever been a part of already. 10 seconds in.
Okay,
Alex, you have torched your credibility 10 seconds into a debate. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Rob, go ahead, ask him a question, and then I'll speak uninterrupted once he's done.
All right. So, Alex, what's your point on this?
I'm asking Dave whether he's kidding or whether he's serious in that.
Yeah, I already explained, Rev. I'm not answering this fucking this fucking scumbag's questions. You can let him explain what that was, and then I'll speak uninterrupted.
It looks to me like you're denying the Holocaust, Dave. So I'm asking whether you did that as a joke or seriously.
Rob, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm trying to moderate here, but I have given myself, and just to be clear, so for people watching, I'm the moderator for this discussion, but I am giving myself the liberty to interject and provide opinions if I really want.
So this is why this guy's not a good moderator, and I wouldn't be in this case either, which is I side with Dave. So I would probably be taking directions from Dave like he is as well, and Dave's like telling him what to do. That's a little bit, I'd say, kind of not uncomfortable, but it's what it is. But like I said, Dave calling him scumbag to his face is what you do. It's just like, I'm sorry. Your purpose of calling me a Holocaust denier or an anti-Semite is so that you don't have to argue the points, okay? And this is all a ruse. Maybe it was brilliant by Alex that you do this instead of actually getting into the topic stuff, but I think he crashed too hard. He tried to play it this way because I think he's serious, but it would have been a good move to confuse everybody and never get to the actual topic of actually being able to debate this. But when you call people those names, then it means they're not worthy, and now you don't have to have those conversations. So Dave plays it back and just calls them scumbags. I'm sorry, you're a fucking scumbag for calling me this. And remember, if you watch and I do have a little bit of a clip here of Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, when he's talking about Ukraine and he says something funding for Ukraine and Israel, and he goes, "Oh, it's about the Jews, is it?" And Tucker's like, calls him out immediately. How dare you? He used a nice way of basically saying you're a fucking pussy, and for calling me an anti-Semite. How dare you? And just called it to his face, basically like you're a fucking scumbag. It's a much nicer way of doing it. It's what you have to do. You have to punch these losers in the face. I'm sorry, you don't get to have these kind of horrible conversations and comments, thought police out at you.
Want to? I'm not a formal moderator where I'm giving each person like 2 minutes to respond to each other. I'm just facilitating a conversation. So like, Alex, I'm curious, are you actually,
Eddie.
like, are you considering that maybe he's not joking? Or
I'm just asking him what he meant when he told Richard Spencer that the Holocaust never happened. It was a joke, right?
Right.
He can, whenever I can speak uninterrupted, let me know. Alex does Alex have a point attached to this video that he insisted on playing multiple times? You want to play it again, Alex?
I'd love to.
Since you got nothing to say?
What was the video a joke, Dave?
Rob, if you want to ask me a question, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm a little confused if Alex,
okay, Dave,
like, are you actually asking him, or is this supposed to lead to like another point?
No, there's no other point. It's just that. It's just, here's you with Richard Spencer. Let me paint you as bad guy. That's, man, what a New York Times scumbag you really are, dude. Wait, hold on. Let me know, Alex. Listen, dude, because we're speaking over each other. Hey, Rob, you're the moderator.
Okay.
Rob,
all right,
you're the moderator, dude.
Okay.
Alex, say whatever you want to say. I won't interrupt, and then let me get some uninterrupted time instead of you speaking over me. Go ahead. Continue embarrassing yourself.
So was what you said in the video a joke, or did you mean it?
Do I have uninterrupted time now? Is that all this guy got? That's all he had?
Please go.
Okay, so what a pathetic attempt to divert attention from you being unable to defend accusing me of being a Holocaust denier. Yes, I made a joke a decade ago that everybody cracking up laughing in the video might be the first indication that it's a joke. What the type of woke leftist bullshit is this? So you're going to call me a Holocaust denier and pin it to your Twitter to maximize how many people can see this career-ending accusation, and all you have is what? That you're doing clown nose on now? You're saying I was just making a joke? Okay, in other words, you can't back it up for shit. Why did I make that joke a decade ago to Richard Spencer? Because I don't know, I was grilling a guy who's in the alt-right. I was poking at how a lot of those guys believe that. I'm obviously not someone who believes that, but was making the joke. Do you got anything more? Or are you simply saying you can't defend calling me a Holocaust denier at all, and you were also just joking, but you also pinned that to your Twitter to maximize the amount of people who would see it? By the way, not working that well. Doesn't seem like too many people see anything on your Twitter, but you pinned it to maximize the number of people who would see it. You, who call yourself a serious reporter, you're saying you were also just making a joke.
Do I believe that you believe that Auschwitz was a spa, Dave? Does that seem like a serious comment to you?
No, I don't think you're saying I believe it's a spa. I think you were calling me a Holocaust denier.
Okay. You made a joke, you say, of course, to Richard Spencer, denying the Holocaust. You say you're not actually a Holocaust denier in the sense that you acknowledge that. Well, let me ask you, the Holocaust did happen, right? We all agree about that, right? Let's just get that out of the way. Okay. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Holocaust.
So you're right. So you already lose. Keep going.
So you made a joke that the Holocaust didn't happen. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes or no.
Just make your point, dude. I don't really feel like answering any of your questions. You're such a scumbag, but keep going. Make your point.
I will wait until you answer. We can sit here all night.
Okay, Rob, you got any questions for me, bro?
All right, let's keep going.
Dude, this is going, Alex, this is going so bad for you already. I actually can't believe it. Anyway, Rob, do you have any questions for me, dude? We could make this a short night, dude.
Here a little bit.
That you think Auschwitz was a spa. You play the I'm the grandson of a Holocaust survivor's family card. You say you're a Jew and you try to shut me up. Guess what, Dave? The game, the rules are the same for both sides here. If you're going to make a joke about, excuse me, may I finish?
Yeah, you can finish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you're going to make a joke to Richard Spencer, who's a neo-Nazi, that the Holocaust didn't happen, and I find it, and I call you on it, the manly thing to do, although you're not a man, would be to apologize and to acknowledge that what I said to you was the same kind of rhetorical effort.
By the way, I'm sorry, apologize for a joke. Go fuck yourself, you sideshow Bob lookalike. Sideshow
And
Bob.
what we should be, may I finish?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sorry, it's just so serious.
The same kind of games are the games that you're playing with Daryl Cooper, who is a Holocaust denier. And it's not me saying it. It's Vad Yashem, which is the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Israel, saying that he's a Holocaust denier. And in refusing to acknowledge that, you
Okay, so that I needed to do some investigation. So let's go back here because I want
to. Saying that he's a Holocaust, it's Vad Yashem, which is the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Israel.
Holocaust Memorial Museum. Let's take a look. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Daryl Cooper. Let's see if we can find anything on that. There we go. By the way, this is your most credible source. I mean, let's try it this way. Yad Vashem denounces remarks made by Daryl Cooper regarding Nazi atrocities as historically false. Daryl Cooper is a podcast with Tucker made comments grossly misrepresent the German Nazis regime actions during Barbarossa in 1941. I don't think he was talking about that one. Cooper claimed the Nazis were unprepared to handle millions. Okay. Yeah, what's your point? So he has a differing interpretation. That is patently false. Okay. Cooper attempts to prove his mistaken point by quoting a letter, supposedly a German war. Okay. Did they say he was a Holocaust denier, though? It is crucial to uphold these events. Apparently, approximately 6 million Jews, including 4 million killed near... Okay, we get your point here. An attempt to just... These people are fucking ridiculous. Cooper attempts to mistaken... Where does it say he's a Holocaust denier, though? Misrepresentations. So... historically false. So they said something he said was historically false. So they didn't say he was a Holocaust denier. Now, once again, it's important to note where your source is. I mean, Southern Poverty Law Center says things like that all the time. It's like having the police investigate the police and saying there's no corruption here. Trump, did you take... No, I didn't do it. Well, Trump... The source is the White House has said, come on, people. We've talked about this. The ADL saying, hey, anti-Semitism is on the rise. There's always reasons why these grievance groups have to, and I'm sorry, no offense here to the Holocaust Museum, but you might be grievance groups as well. At some point, you're going to be categorized as such. Call me an anti-Semite all you want, but you're not out there looking for the truth because you didn't say anything there about Daryl's podcast of 30 plus hours of breaking this down in more detail. You did a snippet off of a little show he did and then calling him out there. And this is the, and by the way, this was talking about history, okay? Daryl Cooper's done some, they quote some other people from history. What's their source for the denunciation of that they are the ultimate expert, right? That's the problem you have here. Who's the expert? Remember, if you saw the Candace Owens in that one Barkley Rabbi Barkley, I think was his name. He's like, no, you don't understand, Candace. We as Jews get to define what anti-Semitism is because it changes all the time. And it's like, I'm sorry, this is such left-wing gobbledygook, right? It's like sending your boy off to college and telling him like, okay, here's what rape is. It's non-consensual sex. And then it's like, well, but if the girl decides after the fact that she just didn't like it or she feels guilty or whatever, then that's the same thing. It's like, whoa, wait. We live on a plane here where people used to have handshakes deals and there was a common thread of what everyone believed. You can't just change the rules. The great Walter E. Williams, the black economist from Georgetown, used to talk about how, you've got this guideline for, what we're believing in life and are going through in the US. It's called the Constitution. And you don't have a living, breathing Constitution because you don't get to just change the rules to the game in poker. If you're playing a game of poker, you know exactly what the rules are, and it's very specific, right? King beats queen, etc. And you don't get to just suddenly change it because your hand is different. That's what these motherfuckers are trying to do. And they're trying to do it, and they do it, and it happens all the time. BLM, LGBT, Jewish stuff. It's all these victim groups, and they should be lumped together. You don't get to segregate yourself out. You're all just as bad and lefty as the others. Okay, so that's exactly what he's done here. And wait, because I think he actually mentioned something along those lines. Let's go.
Saying that he's a Holocaust denier, and in refusing to acknowledge that, you too are on his side in denying the Holocaust.
Okay, so Rob, so just to be clear here, at the end of that insanity, Alex got around to saying, I am a Holocaust denier. Okay, so what was my opening statement? Defend that now. So anyway, by the way, just to do the same thing to you, Alex, what you should be doing is begging the American people's forgiveness every day for working for the most disgusting organization on the fucking planet, the New York Times, as they sold the war in Iraq and just parroted all of the George W. Bush administration's lies and not saying shit, not resigning because you were so disgusted by what they were doing. 1 million people died because of your friends at your organization. So you could tell me I podcasted with a guy who you don't like. Sorry, not doing shit for me. How I should apologize for making a joke with Richard Spencer. You should apologize for fucking being a part of the worst organization on the face of the planet. And by the way, just for Rob, I know you're young, dude, so you don't remember that. When I say that Judith Miller is responsible for 1 million people dying, I'm slightly exaggerating, but slightly. I mean, Chalabi was her source. Maybe we could ask Alex, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a source was Chalabi, the Iranian spy who the Israeli spies convinced your coworker to believe and parrot on the front page of the New York Times? Listen, you want to do this guilt by association, problematic association? Fuck you, dude. Yours are so much worse than me. If you want to stop doing that, because none of this is an argument or means anything, if you want to stop doing this and actually talk about what we believe, then we could have that conversation. Darryl Cooper is not a Holocaust denier. You are a fucking liar. And that's all. You just ended that last thing with calling me a Holocaust denier. So, okay, back that up. Hold on. Shut up. Not done. That is shut up. That is a career-ending slur. It is a career.
Okay, I did clip that part. So you guys ready for this?
That is a career-ending slur. It is a career.
I got, and then there's the other one here. I think I have this one too. This
you want to smear everybody else.
Anyway, no, I want Israel to. No, you shut up.
Okay,
you shut up, my little man.
All right,
my little man.
Ending accusation.
That's someone who's just learning how. I gotta fight. That's what he's
doing.
Throw
at someone. You just threw it at me again. Yeah. Back it up.
Okay.
Make an argument.
Okay.
Not I made a joke 10 years ago.
Okay. So when I actually proved that you denied the Holocaust, you say it was 10 years ago. When
you
I say
proved that I Rob, are you listening to this?
Come on, Dave. Don't go run into Rob. Let's keep going through.
Denier. You're a genocide advocate. You're on record advocating that no aid be allowed into Gaza. But remove that.
That isn't true at all. That is not. Rob, may I speak?
Proved that I'm a Holocaust. Alex, you proved that's your business, not mine.
Okay, I've never.
Rob does a horrible job.
I've never said, and actually, you kind of hit at this in your opening. I've never said that no aid should be allowed in Gaza, and I've criticized the Israeli government in the last few months for its conduct of this war. This war has become, an occupation. It's become collective punishment against the Palestinians in Gaza. I don't approve of that at all, but it is very much possible to say that and not get in bed with anti-Semites and Holocaust deniers and neo-Nazis, and that's what you do, Dave. You do it all the time. And excuse me, it's my turn to speak now. You can be quiet. It's my turn to speak. I'm going to share a screen, please.
My little man.
We're showing something else now?
Yeah, we're showing something.
Jesus.
This is
Okay, before we go to that, I have one quick question. I don't know if you can answer this, Dave, but just out of curiosity, does Richard Spencer deny the Holocaust?
I have no idea.
Okay, but is he? I don't know much about him. I've heard he's a neo-Nazi. Now, people call a lot of people neo-Nazis, but like he is, right? Like he's.
I mean, he was he called himself like a white nationalist at the time. I don't know what he is now, but I mean, this is a long time ago. But I don't know what his position on the Holocaust is. I have no idea.
Okay.
May I share my screen?
And by the way, people, I'm pushing through this because I have not gone past. I mean, maybe another 10 minutes or so I watched, and then I don't know if they ever got into any substantive arguments. I don't know. I'm sorry, that camera's a little delayed there. But I'm just going to keep pushing through some of this because I think it's important. And by the way, this is just one. This is the thing right now, okay? But it's the name calling. And this is one thing we can praise Nick for in a way, is pushing back against it. I don't like the way he does a lot of stuff though. He also is he's the fucking biggest victim out there, and it bothers me. I hate that. If my kids acted like that, I would say go fuck yourself. Okay? It's just that's not how we behave in my house. We don't go in through being victims. It's about, coming through the other side and working your way through stuff. I mean, there's hard times that everyone's has. But does he really have hard times? I mean, he doesn't have to be a podcaster. He could do whatever. And I know it's like, hey, but he's been fine, but he's sticking up for himself. And that's the one thing I do like about him, and that he says, what he believes. So let's go.
No, it's just a screen. I think it's just a headline this time. We don't need
an Archie Flower meme.
Should I read that? It says, Vadia Shem denounces remarks made by Daryl Cooper regarding Nazi atrocities as historically false. This was after Daryl's appearance.
Yeah,
on
they
Tucker
didn't say he was a Holocaust
September.
denier.
And I will just read you one sentence from it. Tucker Carlson and his guest Daryl Cooper engaged in one of the most repugnant forms of Holocaust denial of recent years. These far-fetched conspiracy theories are not only dangerous and malevolent, they are anti-Semitic. That's the guy you're defending. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. Okay,
well, I'm sorry. So I breezed. I literally breezed through this, and that's on me. That's on me. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna just control Holocaust. Vadshem chairman said Tucker in one of the most repugnant forms of Holocaust denial. What is the form? This is the problem here. It's redefining everything. Everything is redefined. So he says something that you don't like, the unprepared, that the Nazis were unprepared and they still killed them. And if you actually listen to that whole thing, you understand where he's still talking about here. I'm sorry. Okay, so I fucked up there. They did deny this, and you know what? It should be expected that these pieces of shit, no offense, Yad Vadim or whatever that you are, all pieces of shit that you would call it denial.
That what Daryl Cooper said is Holocaust denial.
No.
Okay. So you just wait. So you disagree with Vadia Shem?
Yes.
People, Eddie Graham has now moved into the #1 place. Eddie Graham is now the #1 Tyler remarker here. Dave's #3. I think it's on the day, people. I don't think it's an overall thing, JC. Get your fucking, hey, I bet you if you gave money, some money, it would move you up the ladder a bit. So, look, JC's moved up to #2, but you could go up to #1 in my heart if.
Okay, the Holocaust Memorial Museum knows less about this than you do.
I mean, what type of stupid appeal to authority is that? Yes, I disagree with them. Daryl was not denying the Holocaust. You also know that Daryl was not denying the Holocaust because you've listened to him clarifying what he said on that several times.
No. You speak for yourself, my friend. I will speak for myself. Daryl did not.
No, you're speaking for me too.
Okay, no. Dude, I will speak for myself. Yeah, I do not know that Daryl did not deny the Holocaust. Daryl did deny the Holocaust. The Holocaust is intentional and genocidal, Dave, and he won't admit that. I asked him directly
what do you
on
mean
Twitter.
You won't admit that?
He won't admit it. I said to him, Daryl, will you acknowledge that the Holocaust was an intentional and genocidal act designed to exterminate the Jewish people? He wouldn't answer. He repeatedly would not. Now my turn. I'm going to ask you a question, Dave. Do you believe that the Holocaust was an intentional and genocidal act by the Nazis designed to exterminate the Jewish people?
Yes.
Okay. So Daryl Cooper will not say that.
By the way, I don't know that I really give a shit either way. I mean, I do, but okay, did it happen? And we're gonna look up some definitions here. Genocide definition. Okay, Let's go here. Genocide is defined as the deliberate and systematic destruction of a group of people because of their ethnicity, nationality, race, or originality. The term was coined by the Polish-born jurist Raphael Lemkin. Okay, who fucking cares? But it's basically mass murder. I think everyone would agree with that. Let's keep going here.
That's a simple thing to say. He won't say it. You just did.
Here we go, people. Here we go. Here we go. You're number 2. But oh yeah, may God have mercy on my soul for voluntarily giving money to a lawyer. But you know, Eddie, I just say this. I mean, some shit goes down with you. Feel free to DM me. You've got $5 worth of work to be done. Let's see here. Let me see my rate. Let me see what 5 divided by. Yeah, you've got 0.00. You got. I'll give you.
Struggle session shit ever. So because he won't say it. Again, every time you keep telling me not to interrupt, but you interrupt me every time I speak. So you just said a whole bunch of bullshit. So now I'm going to correct and smack down all that nonsense that you just said. Okay. So let me speak now. This is all Alex has. It's fucking pathetic. First of all, you've already reaffirmed in this debate after backing away. First, you say you were just joking. Then you say I am a Holocaust denier. I'm going to need you to make up your mind on that. And if I am one, you're going to have to argue how I am one, especially since you just point blank asked me if I believe in it. And I said, yes. This is what Daryl Cooper said. Okay. Let's just be clear. And by the way, it's so much worse than what Alex is saying, because Alex, I saw that your exchange on Twitter where you went and listened to his half-hour presentation about the Holocaust in Ukraine. We can get more into that in a second. By the way, Rav, I should correct myself before. Did I say that Alex had advocated that no aid get into Gaza? I'm sorry. His exact words were no, capital N-O, supplies to Gaza until every civilian hostage is released. So that's what Alex called for. No supplies. Sorry if I said aid. Genocide advocate, Alex. But anyway.
When did he say that?
When did I say that, Dave? Can you answer, Ralph?
On Twitter in 23.
Oh, okay. So a year and a half ago. No. You brought this up a year and a half ago when the war had just begun.
You just went back, dude. You just went back 10 years to a joke I made with Richard Spencer. I'm sorry, you only advocated for the genocide at the beginning, but now that the policy is coming due, you're getting off the sunken ship because there's like babies starving and stuff. So you don't really want to be a part of that, but you do want to smear everybody else. Anyway,
no, I want Israel to. No, you shut up.
Okay,
you shut up, my little man.
All right,
okay, Alex.
Okay.
You talk a big game over fucking Zoom, faggot. Anyway, here's what I'm saying.
Don't scare me. You're a little bitch from Brooklyn.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is the. I mean, I literally, this is genuine laughter because you're a little bitch from Brooklyn, my little man. My little man. I don't know. It's like it's the dumbest insult I've ever.
Okay, guys, stop, guys. Hey, we're not in high school.
No, Rob,
guys,
sorry.
This feels a little like high school right now. Let's not call each other names, really.
Honestly, you're probably right. I'm probably honestly.
No more names, guys. No more names.
And I've done so many debates over these years. I've just never. I'm sorry, not to say names. I've never seen anything as slimy and disgusting as the way Alex is coming at me here. But let me just say, here was Martyr made.
Okay, I just want to say this, guys. No more names. That just looks ridiculous. Like, you guys are smart.
All right. Okay, fine.
We've got a request for the replay. And by the way, I have a clip, and it didn't make me laugh as much as it did on the full thing. So, okay, let's see.
No more names, guys. No more names.
And I've
each other names, really.
No, honestly,
if we're not in high school,
you're a little bitch.
You talk a big game over fucking Zoom, faggot. Anyway, here's what I'm saying.
Don't scare me. You're a little bitch from Brooklyn.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, guys, stop, guys. Hey, we're not in high school.
No,
guys,
sorry.
This feels a little bit like high school right now.
I'm not from New York. What is a little bitch from Brooklyn? I mean, it's like that's the dig. Why is that in there? Why is the little bitch from Brooklyn? Oh, from Brooklyn. I get it. I mean, someone tell me why that's a problem.
Let's not call each other names, really.
No, honestly, you're probably right. I'm probably honestly.
No more names, guys. No more names.
And
call him a faggot.
I've done
10, as you said there.
I've done so many debates over these years. I've just never. I'm sorry, not to say names. I've never seen anything as slimy and disgusting as the way Alex is coming at me here. But let me just say, here was martyr
Okay,
made.
okay, I just want to say this, guys. No more names. That just looks
okay.
ridiculous. Like you guys.
Rob has said no more names.
Okay, fine.
Even if we
you're not going to.
Wait, no more names. However,
that is a career-ending slur. It is a career.
Bitch.
Scare me, Dave.
Okay.
You don't scare
I know
me.
who you
I'm
are.
not trying to
I know
scare
who
you.
you
I'm
are.
just trying to demonstrate in front of the
By
entire
calling me a
audience
faggot?
what a
Like-
fucking scumbag you are. That's all I'm
A
doing. I'm
fucking
not trying to
scumbag.
scare you.
I thought we just said no more names. Rob,
I
can
don't
you
care,
please,
dude. I don't
can
care. I'm
you
not
please
following
put your
these
boy on a
rules.
leash? Can you please put him on a leash?
Yeah. Alex, come put me on a leash, buddy. Anyway, Rob, I don't know if this even makes sense to continue. This is like, guys,
Okay,
pathetic.
that's fine with
But,
me.
Yeah,
no,
great.
I think
Anyway,
we can continue. I think we can keep
played
going.
the clip that I needed to play, and people will judge you for themselves.
Alex, just wait
Minders
till the
out.
reaction
No,
to this
no.
and see how people are judging who. I know you'll find an excuse for that. This is the funny thing. Alex already tweeted the other day. He goes, all the losers will say that Dave won. So you already have an excuse for why. But yes, let's see how everybody judges this, Alex. Let's see.
By the way, this was 7 days ago. He did not post on Twitter for a week until yesterday or this morning. And then it was about marijuana. It was like he's going back into reefer madness. Reefer madness, folks. I don't do drugs, but you know, whatever.
Anyway, here was Daryl Cooper's response to Alex. This is what he's saying is Holocaust denial. Daryl Cooper wrote, and I quote, I wasn't deliberately doing anything. This is a response to Alex ridiculously claiming that he was deliberately conflating POWs with Holocaust victims. He said, it was an off-the-cuff comment, which I've said I don't blame people, including you, for misconstruing, trying to explain why I object to the strategy of imposing a hunger blockade. The same type of blockade Alex was just supporting. Millions of Jews died as a result of actions taken by the Germans. How many were massacred? How many died of disease or hunger or overwork or in battles as partisans or at the hands of locals in the occupied territories? I don't know, and I don't think anyone does, but no doubt huge numbers were innocent people who died by violence. And again, as I said to Tucker, none of those explanations, except partisan fighting, which is a small fraction of the total, none of those accusations absolve the Germans of the charge of mass murder. That was Daryl Cooper's response.
Okay, so and I'm gonna let him go just a little bit, and then we're gonna skip out of this part.
That's Holocaust.
Alex here, shut up. Alex here is claiming that he's a Holocaust denier because even though he claimed it was mass murder, he didn't say it was the systemic attempt to eliminate an entire group of people because he had already said that. And then Alex
he didn't
just
say that,
struggle
Dave. He
sessioning
didn't
him.
say that,
Alex,
and that's why Yad Vashem said he's a Holocaust denier. I'm not going to let you lie. I will not let you lie. Okay?
No. You don't.
I will not let you lie.
Okay,
I
can we
will
let
let
Dave
you
finish?
lie.
Can we let Dave finish? Then Alex.
No, I can't stop you from lying, but I can point out when you lie, and you're lying.
Okay,
Yeah,
let Dave
so
finish. You
again,
can respond,
Rob,
Alex.
here's the game they always play. He'll tell me to stop interrupting when he's trying to talk, but then when he interrupts me, he goes.
This is one thing that Dave goes too much on. He's on Piers. He's used. Like, let me talk. Let me finish. I get it. I would probably do the same. I don't know. I have a show where it's just me, and I basically do what the fuck I want. My wife and I, she gets inside game. My law partner talks over all the time. So I'll ask him, he's like, ask me a question. So I'm starting to answer like about personal shit. Boom, he's got to interrupt me, just blow me away, and just do his own little story. And I'm just like, sometimes I don't even engage in conversation. I love the guy, but sometimes I don't even engage in conversation because I hate that, right? I try not to do that myself, and I do find myself interjecting little jokes here and there. So my wife is always pointing me out when I do that wrong, because, you know, that's what wives do. Dave does that, but I don't know what it's like to be on a panel like that, where you have to tell people to shut the fuck up.
I will not let you lie. Like, okay, you're just interrupting me to break up my point. Anyway, nobody's denying anything, but look.
Okay, so why did the Holocaust Memorial Museum
again, when I
call
said
Daryl Cooper, let's just go back to it.
Rob,
you want to
this
answer
is
these
just like
questions,
not.
you can't.
No.
You're going to run, it's fine.
Can we let Dave finish?
No, Rob, we're going to be done here because he's just going to run. It's fine. He's going to yell at me. I'll yell back at him. This is going nowhere. I thought, actually, I'm naive. I hope that when you saw that clip, you would say, you know what? I actually did fuck up here, and I shouldn't have done that. But you are far too deep in bed with this group to admit anything, and that's just,
okay. Do you
want me to let's play Candace Owens' blood? No.
Okay, I really want to, because actually I haven't listened to this part, and I would like to go further on this, but I actually can't. I would say that I think Dave at one point goes, look, you're pointing to like the Holocaust Museum as some sort of expertise. You pushed back against Fauci and all these other experts at the time, and so, you know, that's I think that's what he said. I kind of hate how much Berenson resembles the death mask of Napoleon. Okay, How is this 3 hours? It looks like they're done with each other. Look, so they go on for this is an hour and 30 in. I will give you this though. Look, let's go back here. Here is the part that's you have to understand here, Dave, and these guys, other people. This is an hour and 30 in. However, they do an hour countdown. It doesn't start until an hour in. Okay, so whatever the total is, 3 hours, it's 2 hours. As if that makes it better. It's like 87% match. I don't know what that means. Is Berenson Albanian? I don't know. I mean, look at this photo here with his mouth open. You know, I'm just gonna screenshot this. Let's do this is actually perfect here. I'm going to screenshot that part. Boom. Okay. I put it to my photos and I will tweet that out later. That's exceptional. Oy vey, the poor, you're a poorer Jew than I am. Does your law partner specialize in the same thing as you, Tyler? No, kind of. We both do civil. Okay, so family law, there's criminal and then there's civil, right? And you have, rules of civil procedure, criminal procedure is a little bit different, and we do civil. Different standards as well, like, beyond a reasonable doubt, and then preponderance of the evidence and the such. So he does some wills and trusts, like estate planning stuff. He's really good with that. Mostly he does personal injury. Okay, he used to do insurance defense, and then he went into the other side of it. So he's a wealth of knowledge, and he is so good. He is so good at what he does for that, because he's been on all sides of it. And then he used to work in so he worked for insurance companies, and then he works against them. So he just knows all the ins and outs, and he's really good on that. He does property stuff a little bit in there as well. We collaborated this last year on a case together, which was husband and wife are getting a divorce. Okay. They are not of American descent. They're an Eastern Asian culture. Hmong, I think it was. So they come over here. The parents buy a house in the early 90s for not very much, but the house keeps going up and up in price in California, as you'd imagine. And then mom and dad did, just do custodial work. They're having some health issues, getting near retirement, wanting to. They owed $40,000 on a house. $40,000, and this house is worth about $500,000. Okay, son convinces him, say, "Hey, look, we'll just transfer the house to me." And then, by the way, it was in mom and dad's and daughter's name. And then the brother says, "Transfer the house into my name and my wife, and then you guys, just live there. We'll pay off the house, and then, just continue being in the family." And they're like, there's some pushback, and they finally did it. Okay, because that's just kind of what you do in these families. Then the wife, 2 months later, files for divorce. And now through the divorce, she's like, well, we have this house and we have this house. So, you split everything equally. So she's like, why don't you take this house and I'll take this house? And he's like, what the fuck? Now your parents are getting screwed out of it. So we went in as claimants. Okay, a third party joined her. We did that. And my law partner does he's really good with all this property stuff. So it was kind of a mix that we got to do. And it was wonderful. And we ended up saving the house. So we worked out a deal. Holocaust Museum staff are certainly unbiased source. Yeah, it's like the ADL, those types where I'm gonna get rid of what we're talking about here with Dave. We'll go to the next issue. Walking through, it's actually really pissed me off, and it's probably been a bad thing for me, which is going through this Leo Frank stuff. That is very, very frustrating, and there's so much information there, and you can see the manipulation of a group of people, and that is so fascinating, because if you really go into the mindset of what the Jewish people, especially at that time, it's even now, where they outright say they are, you shouldn't be able to judge me. A black man should definitely not have any say over what I do. And so therefore a black man testifying against a white man, a Jewish white man, what they consider themselves white, in court is just abominable. So therefore it must be, the only reason this would have to be this way is because, one, anti-Semitism. and it's bullshit. And it really is frustrating the way they try to gaslight everything on this. That is a perfect screenshot. Yeah, Hmong are a rare breed and come across in the States. You know what? Actually, here in Sacramento, there's a pretty good. And they're what, Vietnamese, Hmong, they're real close there. There's a big contingent here. And by the way, if you saw the movie, what was it, with Clint Eastwood, it was all about the Hmongs. They lived next door. It was very interesting. Okay, let's go to this. I actually we want to take this. So this is Alan Dershowitz. He says, "Don't buy pierogies tainted with the poison of anti-Semitism. As I correctly suspected, the bigot who refused to sell me pierogi, Krem Miskovich, is a notorious anti-Semite who is part of an anti-Semitic organization that protests Jewish, not only Israeli, cultural events and doesn't believe in Israel's right to exist or to respond to what these haters regard as the justified massacres of October 7th. I want to talk about this because we saw this with the Holocaust Museum, and you see it with the Alex Berenson, and you see it over and over and over. And with the Daryl Cooper, let's go here real quick. So we got this over here. Let's just definition of mass murder. Okay. What is the definition of mass murder? I'm going to go tell you what. The term mass murder generally refers to killing of 3 or more people in a single incident, typically occurred within a short period of time and in a close geographic proximity. Mass murder, definition of, let's just say murder. It's going to be the unlawful killing of a human being with malice aforethought. Okay, that's probably what it's going to be. I think that's typically what let's see here better. Let's try this one. Okay. Murder is the unlawful killing of a human being without justification or valid excuse, committed with the necessary intent as defined by the law of specific jurisdiction, usually called a malice aforethought. So you've got to have intent to kill someone, right? And an intent to do that. So if you walk down this thing, the Holocaust denial that Daryl engaged in is that he didn't say the word Holocaust or genocide. He said mass murder. What's murder? It's the intentional killing. Now they're like, well, yes, but it was because mass murder because they were Jewish. Fine. Yeah, no one else was rounded up. I'm sure in these camps it was Jews and they killed them. Okay, it's intentional killing. If you have someone, we saw this from a lady. I'm trying to remember the case. Her husband got in a suitcase voluntarily. Okay, and then she wouldn't let him out, and he died. Okay, and she got convicted of murder. Okay, that's the intent. At some point, there's an intent there, and not feeding people. Okay, as Daryl Cooper's talked about in some of these circumstances, and not preparing for them, is intentional killing, which they want to say is genocide. I get it. The reason the Holocaust Museum has a problem with the way Daryl talks about it, because it's no different. If you capture some people, you put them in a cage, you put them in a camp, and you don't feed them, and they die by starvation, that is intentional killing because you should have known that they would die without food. How is that different than what's happening in Gaza? That's the problem, because you could only have it by an oven. If it's not done by an oven or gas, then it's not considered that case, because that's how the Jews are doing it in Israel. The Israelis are doing it in Gaza. With that in mind, the intent and the way that they want it, you look at this here and you see the stuff that happened in October 7. It's got to be the most gruesome, right? If someone comes and kills my kids on purpose, I don't care if they did whatever, burned them. There's always, yes, it's gruesome, right? That's horrible. But they've got to have it these extra ways, because if it's extra, if your mind was, hate crime, now we really can just punish you. It's like, it's the same thing. They intended to do it. Why should you care the reason other than, even if it's for the fact that they were Jewish? Fine. So then you still intended to kill these people. It's unbelievable. Yeah, Vietnamese mountain people, usually Hmong. Yeah. I love Krem Miskovich now. Suitcase case was nuts. Yeah, but how ovens do you need to make 20 million pizzas in 10 years? I could go for a pizza right now, I'm just telling you. Okay, so we've kind of gone through that. Man, I'm going to have to do a show tomorrow. People, I'm gonna have to do a show tomorrow. I can't keep going. I got to go get the animals to put to bed, the chickens and all that stuff. Maybe we'll break off here. So that's what Alan Dershowitz says. Let's go here. Let's finish this off a bit. If I knew of the local rabbi who currently characterized their anti-Jewish protests as anti-Semitic, I would never have tried to buy their tainted pierogi. And that's where I replied here. Tainted pierogi was your Epstein flight log name. Neither should you. Don't patronize anti-Semites who refuse to sell to Jewish Zionists. Fight back against bigotry. It's like, people, why would you insist that someone that doesn't like you sells you food? You're just a crazy motherfucker. So what is a pierogi? They're pretty damn good. They're these little traditional Eastern European dumpling of Polish origin, made by wrapping an unleavened dough around a savory or sweet filling and cooking it in boiling water. The dish is a staple of Polish cuisine and holds deep cultural significance. So variations found across Central, Eastern, and Southern European. Okay. Then Alan Dershowitz decides he's not done with this situation. He's going to go back. Let's see what he says, because he's got to confront these people like the bully that you are. Just why would you do this? Because he's a piece of shit.
One for anti-Zionists and one for people who will sell to everybody. So I'd ask you to please just sell me any one of your products.
This is the gay cake thing. And by the way, go fuck yourself, Alan Dershowitz, you Epstein Island piece of shit. Those people don't want to sell you a cake. Fine, then just go somewhere else. No, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna insist that I get a pierogi from these people. If they're pieces of shit, why are you there? You just said you didn't want a tainted pierogi. So he goes back and make a scene, and look at all these people filming.
Sell to anybody and not allow your anti-Zionism to decide which people will sell. Will sell to.
Ethan, this man is calling me an anti-Zionist.
Excuse me, this man is a saint. I also offer you this book, which
thank you.
I signed it to you. Krem, please learn the truth.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you so much. I am very surprised that you're here because of the things that you've been saying about us and the business.
No, just you. Yeah.
Online.
Two pierogi stands, one for
Okay, so the guy says basically go fuck yourself. Which is, once again, I would call him, get out of here, you fucking scumbag, for coming and doing this in my house. Not gonna lie, I just had a pizza. Oh, I'm gonna go have a pizza. Some sort of oven that will be developed. Russian pierogies are way better. Okay, sure. Shalom Goyim. Mine are still here. I'm a quarter black, Polish, and I love some pierogies. I do. My neighbors across the street, they're Polish. Super nice people. By the way, I was talking to my wife about this morning. I'm like, because she's like something about Polish are cheap, right? That's a joke my dad used to say, and I'm like, no, Jews are cheap. Polish, the jokes were always about how stupid they are, and then you figure out later it's like, oh, they're a bunch of engineers. Like the husband and wife across the street, they're both engineers, and I'm just like, they're not stupid people. I don't know where that joke. My dad used to say Polish. He would tell Polish jokes all the time, and they're not stupid people. I think it's a language issue. Okay, let's go here. A K and an I and a K and an E. I don't know what that spells. Does it spell this?
That is a career-ending slur. It is a career.
Bitch. Let's see. 646. I can't keep going here. I think I'm done. Anything negative said about anyone ever always applies to Albanians. Yeah, it could be. I mean, there are scummy people out there. My Leo Frank stuff, I'm so deep in it right now, revisiting everything. Like I said, it's a bit of a struggle, and it's fascinating. Part of this you have to understand is the whole cultural system in the South in 1913, and then and because that's very important. But the most interesting part is after this trial took place, and for some reason this Leo Frank guy got national notoriety, and the New York Times starts coming into it with Adolf Ochs, a Jewish guy that owned the New York Times. Albert Lasker, he was a big time, he was the number one, he changed everything with advertising. Okay, he's a Chicago executive, but he was from the South as well. And these guys then, with their big money in the North, and they come down in the South, and then what was the newspaper here? Hearst, William Randolph Hearst, starts investing in the South, and his newspapers were doing a bunch of stuff too. It was fascinating, and it's even more so now, right? Which is, oh, this was the South. Oh, they just lynch people. Oh, that it's easy to understand how the KKK, who obviously doesn't like the Jews, it's easy to understand how they just railroaded over this guy. But that's not the situation. You can have a situation in the South. It's the most fascinating scenario where a white Jewish prominent person who were widely seen as controlling a lot of things in the South. They were prominent people. They were thought of as just one of the same. How the cultural system around there at the time allowed a black guy to testify, two different ones testify against this Jewish man, a black man, right? This was I'm gonna throw a few things out here, as Leo Frank in his defense said in court at the time, this is a nigger crime. Okay, that's what the N-word was said by them vastly all throughout the trial, right? But that's what they said this was. It was typical. A black man, oversexed black man, rapes a white girl, and then you lynch him. Okay, you just lynch the fuck out of these people, and that's what was happening throughout the South before and after the Leo Frank saga. And yet for some reason, they convicted him, okay? Because it was overwhelming. This should have been the black man that was pinned. Two of them were arrested, and they ended up being witnesses against this guy because he was such a fucking creep. But it is interesting now, like the ADL and whatnot, they come in and they're like, it's easy to it's the South. It's the South in the 1913s. It was so racist. They weren't racist against you, the Jews. They were racist against the black man, and yet the black man's word meant more. And by the way, it was a crime in many of these states with the Jim Crow laws. It was a crime. Someone was lynched. Okay, this lynching is not a legal term as far as putting someone down, but someone was lynched in 1938 for testifying against a white man. A black lady was, but there were, in the Jim Crow era, there were laws against testifying against the white man. You just couldn't come and do it. And by the way, do you know what the word Jim Crow comes from? It's actually, I forget the guy's name, but Jim Crow became synonymous with the minstrel outfit and making fun. And then they actually have laws that were saying you couldn't have black people in, segregated, and they used the word Jim Crow. It's fascinating. The Polish are very cheap. Oh, okay, well, maybe they are. I was like telling my wife that wasn't the situation. I think we know enough about Leo Frank, don't we? Okay, hey. I can't wait till we revisit the Holocaust, Tyler. Add the hoax of the 20th century to your reading list. Okay, I will. Who's the author, Minder? Worth a read. Who is it? Arthur Butts, last edition, free online. I enjoyed. Okay, check it out. Don't go on becoming a Holocaust denier after that. I'm actually not a Holocaust denier. This week I just found out my family left England for Virginia in the 1600s, within 20 years of the Jews being allowed back in England. You know, it's fascinating. There's also a portion of the Leo Frank saga where they talk about, the ADL, about like after this happened, the Jews fled Georgia. And you can go into the historical record of Jews leaving Georgia in a mass exodus, when were they coming in? And it was always more positive influx than out, except for in 1790. And you know what happened in Georgia in 1790? They outlawed slavery for a short time, and they outlawed liquor. And at that point, the Jews left because they couldn't have their slaves and they couldn't sell alcohol. When they reinstated both of those, they came back. Fascinating to think of. Okay, I'm not, okay, based. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All right, I think that's where we're going to end. I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about Candace. I wanted to talk about Tucker. I'm going to save that. Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow. If you guys want to come back, we'll do the show tomorrow. Why not? I do have to go to the office and do a lot of prep because I got my last little bit of trial. But I would like to do that. And then this next week, I'm going to be down in Morro Bay, but I'm going to be working. Maybe I'm not sure if I'll do a show at that point. But either way, people, so glad to hang out with you for a while. Thanks for joining me on this Saturday night. It's been a long one. 5:30, almost an hour, almost 2 hours. We're doing good. Doing good, folks. We got, how much time are we in here? I don't know. All right, we will see you next time on the LPR show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the show around. I mean, I did feminine arguments the last episode. I went to do it. It was 2 seconds only up there. It got almost 1,700 views. The actual episode, not even 200. Come on, people, share this out. Share the show. Thanks, Eddie Graham, for the money. Love you guys. See ya next time.
Things are...
Never mind.